Right, this is the 2011, my first ever ranking event win down in Australia. I've got to tell you a little story that I've sort of got a memory of the tournament. So obviously, I'm not sure if I had to qualify. I'm sure I had to qualify, or I might have been seeded high enough. But I remember packing my suitcase, shorts, t-shirts. When we landed in Melbourne, it was -2. Which weren't a good start. It was about a 2.5 hour travel in a bus. Made some good friends, obviously, when we was out there. But I remember practicing. I think I had one pair of jeans and one jumper, and that was me throughout the whole week I was there. Because, like I say, I packed shorts and t-shirts and things like that. I remember when we started off practicing, they opened up the venue again. Freezing cold, couldn't feel your hands. I was practicing with Nigel Bond, and the way the sort of week kicked off, I knew something was in sort of for a very special week. Normally at practice, you sort of try and get into the sort of swing of things, sort of try and practice and try and feel for things, but from the off against Nigel on the practice table, I was knocking in 70s, 80s, 100s, and I was sort of bashing him up for a couple of days in practice before we started. I think my first round match was against, I think it was against Ding Junhui, and I said it'd be nice to get a bit of revenge because he beat me the sort of last tournament of the season before in the Wells, which cost me a top 16 spot. So I ended up beating him. I can't think who I played next. It might have been Tom Ford. But then there was a match against Mark Allen where he famously said, "I've got no bottle, I'm ugly, this and that. Don't worry, me and Mark are good friends now." I thank him because that turned my whole career and life around, so I thank him every time I see him. But yeah, that was a time, I was in the quarterfinals, so I played Mark a few years before that in the UK quarterfinals. So I played Mark, ended up beating him 5-2, 5-3. Played really well, got through that. I think I lost sort of 8 or 9 previous quarterfinals. So when Mark said that about me, it didn't turn into a quarterfinal match. It was a one-on-one gladiator battle, and that again changed my life. I played Sean Murphy in the semis. I remember beating him 6-2, I think, something like that. And that was obviously a great achievement to get to my first ranking final. I remember going backstage in the office, and I was absolutely bawling my eyes out because I was so overwhelmed that I got to my first ever ranking final. I played Mark Williams, who would say was world #1. I remember going, I think 4-2 up, something like that, and then he pulled it back to 4-all. And then got to the evening session. I remember being 8-5 down. And then something clicked, because all the stars were all in the line, all the moons were in the line, and I ended up coming back and winning 9-8. I remember Mark played a great safety shot in the deciding frame, left me no shot whatsoever, and I ended up doing a cross double. Lucky for me, it went in. I didn't win the match from it, but obviously I got myself in front. And then I ended up potting a ball where he needed a snooker, and I think I playing a safety shot. I sort of went to the end of the table, so he played a shot, and one of the photographers turned around and went, "Well done, mate." And I've gone, "Shut up, ain't over yet." I think he only needed 1 or 2 snookers. And then I think what happened in the end, I think Mark tried to snooker me on the behind the brown on the green, and I think he got a kick. This was before Tatum come along. So as he tried to obviously get behind the brown with the white, he left me the green over the pocket, and then obviously I put green, brown, blue, pink, and punched the air, and the rest is history. And this is obviously what I got. It took me a business class seat to get the trophy home. As you can see, it's pretty big, but that's my story of my first ever ranking win.